Hello, all the nerds out there in the world. Welcome back to the 2DCU, the Two Dude Cinematic Universe. I'm dude number one. That's dude number two, or vice versa. You know,
number two reporting.
There is no hierarchy here, Kevin. You know,
sure.
This is
one
teamwork
equals
all
two.
the way through. Teamwork all the way through here.
Yes.
But that is your host, Kevin Stepanian over there. I am your other host, JD Davis. And this, like I said, this is the Two Dude Cinematic Universe. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify or Apple or anywhere you can get podcasts as well. This past week, pretty much all we were on was on podcasts. So hopefully people found us on the podcast format. Sorry about our YouTube. The mouse, I know, still didn't match up at the end of our YouTube video that we just posted. Something's going on with my computer. I will figure it out for this one. So sorry about the delay there, but that one was a lot of fun. We ranked our MCU final, all 25, in order to rank Eternals today. And that leads us right into what we're going to review today. We got to review Eternals. And
yes,
I'm honestly, for one, very jacked because there's so much to talk about with this movie. The good, the bad, the what we expected, what we didn't expect, a lot of characters to dive into. And then we'll get into our theories too. Because we have a can of worms that Kevin Feige just ripped the lid off of. So that'll be a ton of fun. Stick around for that. We will do a non-spoiler on that real quick. If you think you should go see it, I'm going to say the answer is yes. And then we will go into our spoilers of that. So if you haven't seen the movie, we will have that in the description. But once you do see the movie, come back because it's going to be fun to talk about. I think this might be a divisive movie to talk about with fans. Because I think people are kind of all over the place. So I'm very excited to actually talk Eternals with you because we really haven't yet other than some text.
True. Yeah. Our tradition recently has been the person that sees the movie first sends a GIF to the other person.
Which is awesome.
With no explanation. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. We might have to
start
showing off the GIFs. We might have to start showing off the GIFs and see if people think we did well. Kevin saw Dune before me, so he sent a GIF of what he thought of the movie. No words, nothing, no context, anything, just a GIF.
Yeah.
And then I did the same for Eternals because I saw Eternals first. Unfortunately, I only saw it once too. I like to, some of these Marvel ones, I like to see it twice before we get a review. Same with Dune, but I only got to see it once, so I'll see if my memory serves me good with that. So
we'll be fine. We'll check all the boxes. I mean, not too much happens in the present day. It's mostly like backstory and then the plot of the movie.
Right.
It's
We're going to get into all that at the end of the episode. We also have some Succession. I know we didn't do Succession last week, so we'll talk about the last two episodes. We'll have a little spoiler section coming up on Whatcha Watchin. We'll talk a little bit about what we've watching. I don't think it has been a ton. And then we'll talk some news, which includes so much Spider-Man news. We might as well just call half of our news segment checking in on Spidey, because that is, until we get to that movie, that is dominating the headlines in every kind of Hollywood movie circuit anywhere.
It's dominating my dreams, JD. I had a dream the other week that I woke up and was just excited for Spider-Man to come out.
There was some stuff that happened last night with Spider-Man, and we'll get into that in the news. I woke up this morning like kind of similar to Dune, where I wouldn't allow myself to get excited for it until we've gotten there. I woke up this morning like little kid giddy about Spider-Man No Way Home. And then I realized we have a month, a little less than a month and a half, a little over a month.
Over a month, yeah.
It's too much time for me to start getting giddy. But it's dominating the headlines, so we got to talk about it. We figured out, if you're listening to a show like this, you probably want us to talk about it.
Definitely.
Because that's anything on YouTube right now is talking Spider-Man No Way Home stuff, poster, talks of potential leaks and stuff like that, which we will not say what those leaks are, but people who leak stuff are literally scum of the earth. We'll get to that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, do you have anything else, Kev? Do you have a little greetings? Anything else you want to throw out to the people?
No, let's just get into it. I'm so excited to talk Marvel, man. This is great.
Yeah, we'll use that to go right into Whatcha Watchin and see what Kevin has been watching. So Kevin, like last week, Guardians of the Galaxy game is dominating a lot of my time. I'm not done yet, weirdly enough.
Nice.
I didn't play it for about 3 days. I kind of let it go over the weekend, which I'm happy about, by the way. It means I have one chapter left, or 2 chapters left, basically 2 levels, and I'm excited to actually finish that.
How many
probably do that
total?
Probably do that tomorrow. 16.
Oh, okay. That's a.
I'm
smaller
starting
fraction than I thought.
15, and I would imagine 16 is kind of like a wrap up if I had to guess, because I think we're going to do the thing,
Gotcha.
the video
thing,
game
yeah.
thing.
Right.
So that's kind of been dominating my What You Watching. I've been watching MCU movies because, like I said last week, guys, and I know we just posted on YouTube, but it was from last week. Go check out our Marvel ranking, and we'll see where we put Eternals as well into that ranking. But that got me excited. Like talking about some movies. Not quite do a complete rewatch because I just don't want to like dive quite into it yet.
Are you doing all the major plot points, or are you just doing your favorites?
I've just been randomly picking favorites. The Guardians of the Galaxy game made me watch both the Guardians.
Sure.
And then I watched Infinity War the other night. So I've
just
been picking favorites. I imagine Civil War is in my future, and maybe even have to get myself up for Endgame. But that's pretty much what I've been doing, man. What have you been up to? What have you been watching, playing, doing?
Well, I'm actually, for this, I'd like to actually hear your point of view. Have you finished Titans, first of all?
No, I have not. Jeez.
Oh my God.
I just realized I've had the finale for a minute.
Yeah.
I just kind of forgot and had other stuff to do.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Lots of real world busy stuff has been hitting me lately. So, but no, have you finished Titans?
Yeah, I finished that this afternoon, actually. So we can talk about it. I'm still a season 1 elitist, man. The ending, it kind of plateaued.
Last couple episodes have been pretty
kind of plateaued. Yeah.
Kind of plateaued is probably a good way to put it. First half of that season, I'm like, this is like genuinely good HBO content. I mean, I raved about it in our early episodes because at that time where I was at in the show, it was rave worthy, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
It has plateaued is probably a good way to put it. The fact that I've been sitting on the finale for weeks now. Not weeks. I got to the finale like last week, but
but you weren't like excited to start it or anything.
It slowly became something I didn't have to like rush for on Thursdays. Be like, ooh, Thursday, I get to watch Titans, which the first like 5 episodes were. So a little bit disappointing on that aspect, but
yeah, other than that, I've just been keeping up with a couple things, like I said, Critical Role, Foundation, I've been keeping up with on Apple. But the new thing we haven't talked about that came out this week,
I might be giving up on Foundation.
No,
it's boring. It's boring. And after Dune, I think it looks like shit too. Which probably isn't fair. But I don't know. I'm struggling with the visuals. I don't think look great. And like half of the storyline kind of sucks. Like I think the future storyline stuff sucks.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I can't think of another show that's currently releasing week to week that I would prefer to watch. This might be a lull, but
Succession.
Okay, right. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, the Succession is just incredible. But I enjoy a good Friday to have an hour for sci-fi. It's fine. But yeah, other than that though, the only thing I've really been watching that came out this week was Big Mouth. Season I think 5 or something came out this week.
Wow,
phenomenal show. Yeah, really sneaks up on you. But this is
just funny.
So hilarious. Some of the best voice actors, or not even just voice actors, but actors with distinguishable voices are in this show.
Voice actors.
Yeah,
like, obviously maybe, they're not specific voice actors, but they are some of the best, like most iconic, like voices for like a cartoon is a good way to put it.
Right. So yeah, John Mulaney, Nick Kroll, and
Nick Kroll especially,
yeah, true. But yeah, can't recommend the show enough. I love it. It's really funny. So
when did John Mulaney have time? Isn't he in rehab?
Is he? I didn't know that.
He had like a coke problem, I think. I'm pretty sure he went to rehab. But hey, even in rehab, you could probably get a studio in there and do a little voice recording.
Sure. I'm sure there's a lot of stories in rehab.
The people need to laugh.
That's true. The people need to laugh.
That's a incredibly raunchy cartoon on Netflix. I'm sure most of you have heard about it. A lot of it's like middle school hormones, and it's really funny.
Yes.
And obviously super over the top, but like kind of like relatable when you're like, they're obviously being like way over the top, but like in middle school, you're like, oh, yep, that was an awkward, weird thing I used to do,
Sure. Yeah.
So it's fun in that way too. But yeah, no, that show's funny. I will watch that show. I honestly didn't know that the new season was out. One of my cartoon comedies I go for. I'm not usually into that category.
Yeah, no, it's reliably funny. So yeah, recommend Big Mouth.
Anything else for you?
No, yeah, that's it. I know you've just been playing video games and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna
doing
say
anything else?
MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy game, Succession, which we're gonna talk about in a second. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like my free time has been usually like I'm usually doing something on my computer, and I've been watching like a lot of YouTube, just in general, whether it be sports stuff or some nerd stuff similar to like what we do, but other people, and then like honestly, I'm just so excited for the Spiderman stuff that like I've been eating up. Like people talk about the posters and like lore dumps, like emergency awesome and stuff like that. So I'm having fun with that stuff. And that's more mindless, fall asleep to stuff. I don't really have any shows or anything I'm like really diving into it. I'm kind of okay with that because with this show going on and all the movies we have coming, there's a lot. And I'm unapologetically just a huge football fan, so that definitely ties up my weekends.
That's your weekends, yeah, for sure.
That's a lot of times for sure. So, should we get into Succession spoilers?
Let's do it.
Right. We haven't been watching a ton. There's a little what of what we've been doing there, but now's the time, folks. If you have not seen Succession, if you're not caught up in Succession, either way, probably hit the road. If you want to watch it, I guess stick around, but I would highly recommend watching this show because it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. Best weekly release that's going on right now.
Best weekly release going on right now. Heck yeah. Kev. We missed last week because we
did
MCU review. We had a lot going on. We were going to put in at the
end. It was a long
episode
episode anyway, and I hadn't seen the episode.
You had not seen the episode. We were going to come back and do it later that night. By the time we finished recording, I looked at you and I'm like, Kevin, we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. We didn't even review a movie. So we should probably, we'll try to do both last episode, this episode, season in general stuff. And we'll try to allot most of our time for that Eternals spoiler review. Because we know that's why a lot of you are stopping in anyway. So Succession, Kevin, we didn't talk about last week.
Yeah.
We didn't do last week. So I want to start there. Shiv is a cold woman. That letter she wrote. Oh my God, dude. She sucks.
Who is on this woman's team? It's terrible.
They all suck. I mean, let's be honest. They all suck. He sabotaged her The Rape Me song.
One of the best. I think that might be my favorite scene in Succession. I think so.
Like almost cried laughing. Once you heard what the song was too. And just what a move to go funny to the company where you are. Only reason you're still hired is because they can't fire you because you just leaked everything. So they have they would be in legal trouble, right?
They're legally,
So he comes in anyways, and then he buys all the speakers. I love that you see the speaker boxes and stuff. You're like, okay, what is that? I don't even I'm not really entirely sure. And then it happens, you see the speakers everywhere. That show, man, continues to kill every week, every episode.
Shiv's reaction when that happened is probably the best screenshot of this show.
She shit her pants. Yeah,
she shit her pants.
This is her moment, right? Daddy's letting her be president, and her brother just wouldn't let her have it at all. And then obviously the biggest saga of the entire season so far is Greg's watch, right? Whether he's going to purchase the watch, whether he's not going to. Right? Yeah, no, that's the biggest storyline. I was like, oh my God, is it a gift? Is it not a gift? Greg can't afford a $40,000 watch.
I think Kendall knows that. Why would he bring it up?
What a dick!
Yeah,
right? It's like, I'm just setting you up, bro. I almost don't know if Kendall does know that. I think he just assumes everyone in his family is filthy rich, and Greg's not yet. Yes, he is a trust fund kid, but he does not have the trust fund yet.
No, he's in a small apartment just in Upper West
Kendall's
Side or
old
whatever.
Apartment, I think he is.
Is it?
Kendall's. Yeah.
Okay, then he's not paying rent on it.
Yes, but he doesn't have $40,000 just to throw around.
He doesn't have fuck money. For sure, he doesn't have fuck money.
No, and he will. Well, if he plays his card right, who knows? His grandpa might take it.
As long as he
Greg might end up getting. Yeah. I hope the show ends with people in jail, people out money, go broke, whatever. And Greg's just on an island, just filthy rich. That's how I hope.
I would love that.
Yes. That was last week's big thing. Obviously, Kendall was going to go on the show. The letter comes out. Dude, I felt for him. He's just sitting back there, and he's almost hiding from it. It was kind of like a last week tonight kind of situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
where they just roast people, and he was going to go on and just kind of lean into it. I'm almost glad he didn't go on, because I was like having secondhand anxiety, thinking like he's going to go on and get shit on. And I don't want to see Kendall cry in front of an audience. And I honestly thought that's where we were going.
That would have ended his whole line for sure.
He was going to cry. Like,
yeah.
Because
he would not
tell it bothers him.
Yeah, of course. For sure.
I love good tweet, bad tweet. That was a funny thing too in the limo.
That was funny. Bad tweet.
This,
but yeah.
This season, I have no idea where it's going.
No. How long is it? 10 episodes?
I would imagine it's something like that. Something like that. I would have to check that out.
Well, still early.
I'm very interested too with, I think Tom, who claims he's giving himself to go to jail, I think he is sitting there with an ace in his back pocket, reading Shiv, reading the dad. Do they actually love me? Because he asks questions, and you could almost see him like, well, how would Shiv react to this? And he's playing like as if he's like for sure going to go to jail. And he even makes a phone call right after the one time that I'm not even sure we know what it was.
No, he's been doing shady shit.
I think he has something in his back pocket, and he genuinely loves Shiv, so he doesn't want to stab her in the back unless he has to. But I think he's gathering all the data, acting like he's going to be, the sheep fatten it up, or not the sheep, the pig, fatten it up for slaughter, or whatever. Right.
And he has immunity or something.
I think he is going to be the thing that blows everyone up at the end. I think he's got the atomic bomb. I don't know what it is. I just think that's how he's playing.
At cruises, right? Like at the beginning of the show, he was like at cruises.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he has all the information.
That was the whole thing, right? They were supposed to shred it. Greg kept some of it. Yeah, those are the documents. Obviously, Kendall. Greg is a kind of a huge part in this, which is funny.
Yeah, bigger part than he realizes, I think.
Yeah, Tom is kind of an interesting part of where this show might go, and I might be totally wrong. That's the great thing about this show. In this week's episode, we had Logan's health as an issue. Obviously, him almost passing out. The investor lunch was kind of the big thing. Logan and Kendall's first meetup this season, since the whole thing very awkward. I loved how awkward, well directed. Oh my god, was it awkward.
God, the camera just didn't fucking move, and they're just sitting there in silence.
I was like, how long are we gonna sit in silence till they cut? And they just did it, and it was like, stop.
It was awesome, well directed, everything. But we haven't seen a real problem from Logan's health since the first season, right? I mean, he's been old for forever, but obviously the show opens on him.
But
he goes into a coma, or is it a heart attack, or what was the first thing?
A stroke.
Stroke, yeah. So
I don't know. Yeah,
weird to see if they cycle back to that at all, or if this is its own thing, or that's
kind of the wild card, right? Is like that's a thing that's cool about this. Is it feels like Logan versus Kendall, right? Who's going to win? But there are so many wild cards. Logan's health is a wild card that could blow it all up for both sides. Kendall's drug problem could blow it up at any minute, and he's
the fact that he killed a guy.
And the fact that he killed a guy, that he's manic. Like, there are so many little things left from the old seasons that could be huge if they ever wanted to use it, that it makes it so unpredictable and so cool. And that's why we talked about it, I think, when we first talked Succession spoilers, that it's not going to end with just Logan will beat Kendall or Kendall beat Logan. No. There's something bigger going on. And the Sandy and Stewie thing, which is becoming more and more of a threat by the day. Yeah. Because they just won the investor that they were supposed to go to.
Yeah, it's a lot up in the air. And to boot, all the FBI is in all their files. Yeah. It's insane.
Kendall
every last FBI guy.
That's definitely a Team Kendall win for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it is. For sure.
Because I don't think he's got anything too bad. It is going to be crazy to see where this thing finally ends up. And Kevin, before we finish, next episode, the freaking board meeting. Oh my God. I cannot wait for Sunday. Oh. This is going to be the Senate hearing episode of this season, I think. Remember the Senate hearing last year? How tense that was, and how you were stressed and crazy entertaining, and Tom blew it, and
Tom did blow it.
Tom blew it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be this episode. I think it is going. We're going to talk about this episode as like a top 5 episode in succession, hopefully, because I think
right.
the way I watched the preview for it after the episode. It sounds like they could lose the company in that board meeting. We're going to have the Sandy and Stewie thing feeling a lot better about where we're at in that situation. I think we're going to know a lot. And I think we're going to have a better idea of where this season is going after next episode.
Big episode. This is episode, what, 5? 5?
We've watched 4 of them. So this upcoming one is 5. Correct. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. I love it. Oh my God. What are you doing if you're not watching this show every week? You know, wasting your own time.
Good. It's so good. And here's the thing too, is I would say last episode, not a ton happened, right? The one we just watched, probably out of all of them, kind of a calm before the storm. I think when we're going to get this with this next episode 5, the board meeting, but that doesn't mean it wasn't nonstop entertainment for 60 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just watching these people
every scene
talk. The idea that Roman is trying to find the guy that they literally paid to tattoo Kendall's name. Like that is such a jackass, like
crazy
asshole
rich
thing to do. Just be like, I'm so rich, I'm going to pay this bum to tattoo my name. Like I guarantee freaking rich pricks
I've done that before. For sure.
So,
oh my God, it's crazy.
Like even that stuff, is that going to be big for the plot of the show? Probably not, but I laughed my ass off.
I almost cried when Tom walked in to go get Greg, and I remembered Greg's office is this tiny little fucking closet now. It's Greg. So funny. He's such a piece of shit. But oh God, Greg. I like Tom. I really like Tom now. I didn't think I was gonna like him.
I like Tom too. I feel bad for him because Shiv is the worst wife in the world. Shiv is the worst.
Yeah,
she's so mean to him. She's like, she's so okay with him going to jail, like so okay with it. Could you imagine your wife be like you asked her like, what if I just bit the bullet? And she's like, yeah, no, that could work. Like that could work. I say this to you, and your answer should be absolutely not. Yeah, you're not going to jail. We'll do anything to keep you out of jail. Yeah, but Shiv is a self-centered piece of crap, like all of them, by the way. None of them are great people. I don't mean to, but Shiv just Shiv rubs me the wrong way because of I think she's so nasty to Tom. I think genuinely likes her, and Tom's not a good guy either. Tom uses his power, but I do think Tom loves Shiv, and I think Shiv loves Tom, but when it's like convenient. And,
that's an easy love for sure. She does not want to be there when it gets rocky.
100%. 100%. All right. Any more Succession thoughts, or do you want to move on to the news?
Let's just move on. You know, like you said, we'll have more to talk about next week for it. But that's a good stopping point for now.
Right. So that was our Succession spoilers. I'll have that in the description as well. Come back. We'll have where you come back down there. Come back, watch Succession, follow along with us, Succession every week. It's a lot of fun to watch and talk about and theorize and all that. And I think we'll have a lot to theorize about next week for sure. Big episode coming up there. But time to move on to the news. Lots of Spidey talk, Kevin. So let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get into it. This is the news, baby. Kevin, you're supposed to have, and now, Kevin, with the news, you're supposed to have your paper.
I have Dune. Shit.
Stack it. There you go. Yeah, that was a stupid joke from last week that we're never going to do again. This is the news, and we might as well just rename this. Yes, State of Marvel, but specifically State of Spider-Man.
Right. Yes.
Holy shit, we've talked so much Spider-Man, but it's what there is to talk about. We can start right away with the poster was released. Freaking awesome poster.
Great poster. Great poster.
The Green Goblin, Kevin, the original Green Goblin. What do you have to say about that, my friend?
I didn't like it then. I don't like it now, but it is really nostalgic, and I'm obviously super excited to have a Green Goblin in this. Wish they changed the costume is all, but I do like it.
I want them to change. Like, I don't mind the original costume. I wish they changed the helmet.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's my biggest complaint for sure.
Right, which is like, well, duh, like that's what people don't like about the costume. The rest is just armor. I get that, but I also wish they make the mouth be able to move, and
Mhm.
like I hope that's something that they act, because we don't know if they're doing that.
Yeah, we're both
The,
thinking of the scene where the mask is talking to the mask, and it
oh, it's
doesn't
awful
move.
in the original
It's really bad in
Spider-Man.
the original, yeah, and hopefully that
It's
doesn't
so
happen.
awful.
But I mean, it is a generally like unique version of Green Goblin, especially for the comics. It doesn't specifically look any like anything in the comics for Green Goblin, but it is cool. I guess I like the idea of it being like
At the end
sharp
of the
teeth and
day,
like gnarly, but nah.
what we like is the fact that it seems to be William Dafoe.
Yeah,
Like
oh, for sure.
what we want here. I'm so excited. I love the Green Goblin. It has not been done, I don't think, since. Oh, they did do it in Amazing Spider-Man 2. It hasn't been done good since uh, that original one or whatever. That's the poster,
Yeah,
by the way, that we're talking about. Um,
he's up there. Look at it, right under
look at it. Look
the
at him.
right tentacle. Yeah, there you go.
Look at him. It's a dope poster, though. Obviously, we
Good
get the
poster.
tentacles. We get the electro lightning. And I
Sand.
think Sandman
Yeah,
is also,
yeah.
that would mean
No,
confirmed.
that's confirmed. Yeah.
Pretty much everyone but Venom of the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, but we're probably going to get to, obviously, a form of Venom of some kind there. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it be the one from Spider-Man, who knows? But that poster got people buzzing, by the way,
I
about
don't
the
know
Green
why. It's not new
Goblin.
information.
Tom Holland then confirmed Electro is in the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's the thing, though. To talk to you, I don't think you saw this. There was a leak last night.
No, I haven't seen this.
By a man I like, a YouTuber I like, and I actually referenced him in our last show. John Campia is a guy that was on YouTube, runs a huge show for like in Hollywood, like a part of the press, like hardcore. Released two pictures that he thought were photoshopped. That's why he released them. Then it came out that they weren't photoshopped; they were stills from the movie. So then it was a huge deal, and everyone's shitting on him. Then it comes out that they are photoshopped, so no one knows what to think. Either way, dude, spoilers are so freaking sensitive that just don't post that shit, man.
Yeah, why would you? Why would you? You know?
If you post spoilers, first of all, you're a scumbag. Like one of the most, like, what are you, like, people who do that shit in mentions, and this was trending last night, and I saw it before I was warned about it.
Really?
And it's an awkward spot too, because obviously what I saw was a spoiler, and I won't tell you what it was.
I appreciate
it was
that.
A cool spoiler, I think, enough, cool enough. That it's like, damn, I want it to be real, but I also like hope it's fake because I don't want to like be spoiled.
Yeah,
like I'm in a weird spot that way. So the moral of the story is these freaking critic types, Kevin, and not us. We're not into that world. Obviously, we joke around, but obviously we're not even close to the level of like those big time people that actually get movie passes and get to go see the shit earlier. Stop acting like you're above it all. And I posted this, but okay, a casting call like is not a spoiler. Blah blah. Yes, it is. It's 100% a spoiler. And that's not what happened here, by the way. This was a Photoshop photo.
Right, yeah, sure. But
this has happened before.
Why put it out there?
I'm taking a rant on these people that think they're above it because they're big critics.
It's just entitlement.
It's just entitlement to the 10th degree. What's funny, too, is I saw a tweet, like John Campio, like a couple of weeks ago, literally talked about how, like there should be, he was like, I'm dead serious. I think there should be fines up to like $1 million for people spoiling things. And
yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah.
And it's like, I agree, John, pay up, asshole. Like,
that sucks.
Whether
that really
you thought
sucks.
It was like, why would you just assume, first of all, that something like that is photoshopped? Second of all, why do you need to post it? And usually you can tell, or you should get it confirmed. Like, you're big enough, dude. You got millions and millions of viewers and shit. stuff is, and you know your sources, right? He has real life sources. We obviously don't have real life sources. Hopefully, we will get there.
But the point is, it's so sensitive information, and the MCU is the most secretive movie organization to date. Doesn't want anything released, anything at all. They have to censor Tom Holland because they're afraid of spoilers. Why would you put that out in the first place? You know, just in case. But whatever,
for likes.
It's for clicks. Obviously, it's for clicks. Yeah.
And then the asshole, he explains himself on Twitter. And look, I understand mistakes happen. And again, I in the past have liked this guy. I enjoy some of his stuff. He does think the Venom movies are good. So
bad take.
Take that for what it's worth. Maybe he's just a big old idiot face.
Sure. Could be.
He literally then, like, after he explains himself and kind of apologized, that's another thing too, is he didn't really apologize. He like went off about he was like, well, this is what I thought happened and I just made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. All right, yeah, sure. Maybe you did just make a mistake. But then like an hour later, he tweeted out, but at the end of the day, I gained 10,000 followers and blah, blah, blah. You're such a freaking prick.
Yeah, fuck.
Like, you are such a prick if you're bragging about your followers and views based on something you did that is a shitty person thing to do.
That's
like, you're such a prick.
Yeah.
You're such a prick.
That's and gloating about his blood money.
So
makes me sick.
It's so that would be like, oh, hey, like NFL player, hey, I took a dirty shot and ended this guy's career, but I gained 5,000 followers. Shut up. Like,
shut up.
Just shut up, people. Just shut up. What is it with the Hollywood critic types that like we can't just ever go into a movie not knowing shit ever? Yeah. The amount of spoilers and stuff, and it happened as well with Eternals post-credit scenes. I didn't get it spoiled, but about every other person I asked did get it spoiled. And again, that was not a huge deal. Now that I've seen it,
right? Yeah. But still, you shouldn't have had it in the first place.
Mouth shut, dude. People want to go on Twitter without having the risk of their movie they've looked forward to for years, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, with the pandemic especially, for years, we've looked forward to this movie and not ruin it, but you're going to take away a part of the wow of the experience just because I checked Twitter because I was bored with what I was watching on TV, or I was on commercial with what I was watching on TV.
Yep.
I just think it's incredibly selfish.
Even that weekend, the movie comes out on a Thursday, usually. The big releases is usually a Thursday.
Still shut up. Yeah.
Monday, absolute earliest you can talk about it on Twitter. Absolute earliest. And that's being very forgiving, and you have to have very little followers given, know. But whatever.
I just at the end of the day, I don't tweet anything that's spoiler-ish ever.
Exactly.
Unless we're talking about like Game of Thrones or like when we did our MCU review. All that stuff's fair game, guys. Like what we're talking about years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Sure.
In that way, okay. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to throw out spoilers. It feels like something in general that we should just try to avoid at all possibilities.
Especially at pre-production.
And I wanted to go find these tweets that of him talking about how many followers he got and show you guys, and they're gone.
Did he delete them?
Shocker. What a prick.
Oh my God.
What a prick.
We'll take the followers though.
All right. Yeah, we'll take the followers, and at the end of the day, more clicks, right? More clicks, more advertisements. Good for you. Yeah, I hope Feige just says F you. No more pre-passes for Marvel. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Nope, you don't get to come early anymore. No more Sony or Marvel pre-passes. Sorry, you ruined it. Also, just on the Tom Holland talk. Sorry, I've ranted there.
This is my favorite topic.
That shit bugs me.
Sure.
So Tom Holland has come out and said, no Toby, no Andrew. Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom.
sure.
Okay, Tom. Yeah, whatever. We got you, pal. No Andrew or Toby. It reminds me of like that sitcom trope of I get it, guys. You're not throwing me a surprise party. It's like, no, we're actually not.
No, yeah.
Okay,
very
guys.
Literally, yes.
No, we're like not doing it. And that might be what happens as we leave the movie. Like, damn it, Tom was telling the truth. Like, okay, Tom. He's like, no, seriously, they're not in the movie. I still don't believe you, Tom. You You're being
all
told
the evidence
to say that
is pointing toward the contrary. Other than what he said verbatim, everything else leading up to this movie is hinted at these characters being in this.
I genuinely don't think. By the way, everything Tom Holland has been saying shit left and right.
Sure.
I believe a team is telling him exactly what to say. Like, I think they're almost using him as a press person because he's almost known for the leaks. So when he says something, and when he says something, it gets traction. But I don't think he is going, like, he has made his mistakes and they are so, like, clamped down on Tom. I believe a team is handing him, hey, say this. Hey,
his
leak,
PR manager has a very difficult job.
Leak this.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're not
my God.
Leaks. These are all very calculated. But hey guys, Tom says no Tobey Maguire, no Andrew Garfield.
It's dumb.
So probably won't be in the movie, right? I don't buy it. He also did, like I said, Tom's been just railing off about this movie. I also I'll say what he said first, and I'll give my thought. Yeah. He called the movie very brutal, very dark. They're going to put characters in situations that is going to be like no fun for them. Characters you love are going to be put in really tough situations. Like that was around what his quote was. Freaking awesome, honestly. Like that's so cool.
Definitely.
Like those are some of the best movies, for sure. Also, I want to throw it out there with the amount of stuff Tom is saying, with the amount of buzz this is generating.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like Marvel knows they have a masterpiece in their back pocket because they are coming at the marketing with both guns. You know what I mean? And I understand
the most advertisement for a single movie I've seen in a long time.
But like
including
they are
Dune.
doing it when you just want people to go see movies.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a lot in the marketing, right?
Sure. Yeah,
make a cool trailer, do all that. They are not only throwing a lot in the marketing, they are engulfing pop culture by telling Tom, release this stuff so you can see it as a soundbite on Twitter. Stuff like that. They are, it reminds me of similar to, I felt this way going into Civil War. They did kind of the same thing going into Infinity War. And by Endgame, they didn't have to. That was its own pop culture thing. They know, I think Feige knows when he's holding an ace in his back pocket. Like it's one of those, like, I honestly think he's sitting there and he goes, objectively, this is an awesome movie. And I hope I'm right, by the way. I don't know that. No one knows until we see the movie.
Sure.
Eternals, on the other hand, Feige had kept talking about how beautiful it was and how different, but he was selling you on an idea with Eternals because I think he knew not everyone was going to dig Eternals.
Sure.
That, by the way, has nothing to do with our opinion. We'll get there in a second because that's not necessarily our opinion at all. But like Eternals was different enough that like the marketing was very different. And I understand it's not Spider-Man.
Compared to a Spider-Man movie? Yeah. I mean, yeah,
even then, the pop culture zeitgeist of it all makes me think that they know they're holding an absolute winner in their back pocket. What do you think about that? What do you think about what Tom has said about the movie?
I concur wholeheartedly. I don't trust a single word out of that beautiful boy's mouth at all.
Sure, Tom. Sure.
Yeah. No, Tom has said so much ever since Civil War came out and that poster video. Oh my God. But at this point he's become a press piece. Obviously he's might be the most famous Avenger that's alive now, maybe. Other than Chris Hemsworth. Hemsworth is up there, but he's not in this movie.
Also, Pratt is pretty up there.
Okay, all right, but still an amazing figurehead, and especially for younger audiences, you're not going to beat Spider-Man. And
that's the thing. He's playing Spider-Man. If we're talking about just straight actor, I don't know.
Right? Okay,
that's he is Spider-Man. Probably does. Yes.
So, Feige, this is it. This next movie is Phase 4. And we're going to get a lot of different shit. And we followed the clues up to this point, and it looks like we're right. I'm very convinced that we're right about this.
Or close to right.
Close to right. Close to right, I would take.
We've theorized for a while about where we think it's all going.
But the basic stepping stones.
The basic stepping stones, I think we're going to be sitting there going, all right, we were right chapter, wrong page. We were close, though. Close.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to be like different book. Ooh, wow, didn't see that coming.
Right.
And they think they know that, and they're just kind of loosely giving us as much as they can going into the movie. They've done an awesome job keeping us on edge there and releasing stuff later than we thought. And I wonder, do you think we'll get another trailer here soon, or do you think we will get another?
I hope not. I'll say.
I kind of hope not too, because I think they showed us so little in that trailer. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Cut it there.
They showed us so little in that trailer.
Cut it there. Perfect. Good. Don't want to know anything else. You have my money. Take my money. Just don't tell me anything about it. What? I was gonna say something. Shit.
It was gonna be great too.
Yeah.
Usually when you say stuff, it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. It's fine.
So hey, we've talked Spidey. We'll continue to talk Spidey. I mean, this is the biggest movie opening since Endgame, I would say. This will like we will go into a little bit of the box office stuff with Eternals, and just what's been doing good, what hasn't been doing good, the streaming stuff, all that. It's been weird. The box office, I don't think, are overly accurate as they would be on a normal time. I will put my life on it that Spider-Man No Way Home is going to blow everything out of the water and kind of set everything. But like, this is the blockbuster of blockbusters, with one of the biggest characters and the ending probably to one of the biggest characters in the MCU. So,
are they doing a paid release on Disney Plus, or is it theaters only?
I think it's theaters only. I think ever since, because everything else was after Black Widow.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just make it.
And they're sitting on a gold mine here.
It's kid money. Office. Yeah, you can't fuck with kid money.
They're gonna take the box office 100%. So yeah, I think that hopefully this will be the blockbuster we need to kind of. Things have been getting better. Don't be wrong. The box offices are good enough that we're like, okay, like the over panic of a couple of months ago. Theaters are dead. Theaters aren't dead. But hopefully this is the blockbuster to push us back into normal zone. And have blockbusters accurately depict who's seeing the movies, because we really don't know with the streaming stuff. So, moving on from Spider-Man, moving on from that, I do want to get into Eternals. So just real quick, John Wick 4 wrap filming. That's exciting. That means we're getting that movie soon. I love how much too we have heard all the great stuff that Keanu Reeves is doing. He bought his stunt team like $40,000 watches. You see him helping.
So cool.
I love that John Wick is a good guy at heart.
Keanu Reeves is one of the best people in Hollywood. Just
great.
End of sentence. Just best people. He is my hero. Oh, dude, John Wick in Marvel. I would divorce Doctor Strange and immediately make him my new favorite.
Whatever he is, John Wick.
Whatever he is.
I want to see John Wick.
Just John Wick.
And Shang-Chi go ham on about like 70 ninjas. That's what I want. Yes. I don't care how we get that scene. I don't care what role he has in the MCU. I need that in my life. Never thought I did. But either way, John Wick 4, we're obviously huge John Wick fans. One of the best hand-to-hand combat, one of the best just straight action movies.
You know what that movie ending means, though, right? That means two dudes needs to do a John Wick review.
Oh, we will. We will actually do that and rank them and stuff like that. Yes, we'll do that leading into that.
Leading up to the movie. Yeah, sure.
100%. And I actually think we should do a Spider-Man, like all the Spider-Man, anything from all the
Sam Raimi and
like all of them. There's like 10 of them, 11 of them. We'll even
watch the cartoon from the 70s. Gotcha.
Wow. There you go. all the live action versions of Spider-Man, and we'll even throw the Venoms in there and rank them. That might be what we do leading up to that. We have fun ideas there. But also talking about filming, John Wick 4 wrapped filming, Guardians 3 started filming.
Great.
A movie that I feel like, wow, Guardians 2 was so long ago. And that this was obviously never the plan. Pandemic, shit happens. I think they've said, James Gunn said he's had this written since like 2018.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Is the Christmas special done yet? Or are they still finishing the Christmas special?
They're filming Guardians 3.
I know. And the Christmas special comes out before Guardians 3.
It comes out at Christmas.
Of 22. And then Guardians 3 comes out.
Okay. Maybe they're doing it together
because it's apparently a very important movie to the MCU. Is what it was what
Guardians 3 or
no, the Christmas special. It's going to be underplayed. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
interesting. I didn't know that. But obviously we have Adam Warlock into the cast.
Sure.
What's his name? Do we remember?
The guy from Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
And We Are the Millers, and other bit parts.
But either way,
he's from Narnia 3. He's in. God, I just had an aneurysm thinking of that awful movie. But
Narnia 3.
Narnia 3.
Prince of Caspian or
Prince Caspian's the second one. It's in the one after that.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Don't. It was on HBO for a little while, and yeah, that's the man. Yeah,
Will Poulter.
Sure.
But yeah, he's obviously going to be Adam Warlock. It's just really.
Is he going to grow his hair out, or is that going to be a wig? Oh, whatever. I don't fucking care.
You think he's going to permanently paint his skin gold?
I hope so. That's commitment to the role. I don't see.
So too. Also, that Adam Warlock image they showed, I've seen many different ones. I'm pretty sure he's going to be gold. I don't think that's really accurate of what he's going to look like.
Well, they already did it for what's that planet called?
I don't know.
In Guardians,
I know. I don't know what the planet is called.
Okay, well, whatever. The one with Arcane
Zendaria.
Sure, that
Zendarians.
sounds right. Sure.
I feel like that's what she says. Zendaria. I know that is a planet. I know that is a planet. I don't know if it's that. Gotcha. I feel like it is because Rocket's like, they said you Zendarians were conceited douchebags, but I don't think that at all, or something. It's like, oh, that was supposed to be behind your back, you know. Great movie.
With my left eye. So good.
But Guardians, man, I'm so excited for a Guardians movie. Yep. There's a lot of rumors that some Guardians might not make it through. I feel like
Drax is
yeah, I was gonna say right off the bat, betting favorite's got to be Drax, right?
Yeah, his contract's up, and it doesn't seem like he. Yeah, he's done.
He's doing other shit. He's doing like he is. I will say, never thought Dave Bautista would take off as an actor. He's doing really well.
Very well. Yeah, a lot of streaming stuff.
We'll keep it moving though, but obviously,
well, do you want to stay on Guardians for the Glenn Howerton thing that you showed me the other day?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So James Gunn. Actually, I'll let you take this one, Kev.
Explain so James Gunn recently in a press conference. Was it recently, or did you just see it recently? It
was an article.
That came out. I don't know recently.
When it was actually talked about. I think recent. Well, I think recent. It was like the article was written recent. So.
And please correct me if I got this wrong, but James Gunn's first pick for Star-Lord in the original Guardians of the Galaxy was Glenn Howerton. It was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is Glenn Howerton
second pick? It was always his backup plan, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But that is a very different Star-Lord than what we have seen thus far. If Glenn Howerton is in instead of Chris Pratt, that drastically changes the character. It would have been hilarious. Different kind of funny.
I think, but it would be like they would lean into, I think, more of what they did for Chris Pratt.
Sure.
I think he would be similar, like same written, obviously, of course. I think he would add a little more conceited douchebag instead of like lovable. Lovable loser. Not even a loser, but. Peter Quill is lovable as
he's a goofball.
He's a goofball. Howerton would be more of like the womanizer, like asshole type. I think.
Yes. He would pull off the Dennis system in Guardians of the Galaxy for sure.
Yep. He talked about him being the second choice behind Chris Pratt, and I actually think he would have done a great job. And the Always Sunny Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn connection I never knew I needed now, but
yes,
obviously we're not upset Chris Pratt is like born to play
of course not,
but
of course
in another alternate universe, if we ever get in a multiverse one day, maybe we'll see a Glenn Hawthorne or Howard okay. James Gunn mashup.
That being said, though, I would like to see all of the Always Sunny cast in the MCU at some point because they are just all funny.
There's a character I won't give away, but I wouldn't have hated Charlie Day playing in Eternals, and you're gonna probably sit there and be like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying?"
I know.
It's a voice, and I would have absolutely.
He works with Glenn Howerton, the voice that you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yes. I gotcha.
And by the way, the article goes on to say Star-Lord. People also tested were Zachary Levi and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the rest are kind of not big names. But those were Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't feel funny.
No,
enough.
He's too nice. He's too.
And Zachary Levi is too nice too. I think Glenn Howerton would have been fun, but those were definitely. I'd like to think those were in their own little. I'd like to think it came down to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like those two and one more, especially the way this article's written. If you have time, check that one out. It's actually pretty fun.
Wish they had a table read with Glenn Howerton. That would be fun. See the audition tape, but whatever.
So excited. Obviously, we saw that picture on Twitter. Guardians 3. Cannot wait for Guardians 3.
Sure.
What a cast. They're going to have a lot of fun. James Gunn. The only thing is James Gunn's had this written for a while, so I feel like it won't have a huge effect on the MCU. Obviously, very interesting to see where they go with the Gamora character that we have from Endgame. That's kind of big up in the air. And it'll also be interesting. Do we get the Guardians and Thor Love and Thunder because they're together? And that movie comes out first. I think we'll have some idea. I think that some of the Guardians will be in that movie, whether it be for the first 5 minutes or not.
I would be surprised if Bradley Cooper did not make it in the Thor Love and Thunder movie.
Especially, he's just a voice guy. I think Peter Quill might even be in it. I don't know if the whole clan does. Batista's been doing a lot, man. I feel like they can write Drax off as Drax went to do this. He'll be back, whatever. So that's obviously interesting to see how that's all going to balance out. Guardians 3, it's been written for so long. How does it affect the MCU? Because there's a lot of new ideas going along, which will lead us into Eternals, which we want to get to. Only thing I got to say is a quick Star Wars thing. Patty Jenkins, you know her from Wonder Woman. She directed Wonder Woman 1 and 2. Was she the one who got kicked off of Thor: The Dark World?
I believe so.
I think so. Like, she's the one that Natalie Portman was upset about and like half left the MCU because she loved her. I think that was her. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Look it up for yourself. But either way, Patty Jenkins. By the way, just gonna throw it out there. Not excited the fact she was going to do Rogue Squadron, which was a Star Wars movie strictly about like dogfighting, like Top Gun of Star Wars was kind of how it was sold. On the surface, seems okay. I don't think it's a movie anyone was asking for or dying for.
No. It's not there's not even the Star Wars content that we're asking for.
I would have been fine with her doing it. That was before I saw Wonder Woman 1984. And I don't want her touching any Star Wars, Marvel, anything. She can stay in DC because that was one of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen. And people might think I'm dramatic. I hate that movie out loud.
Hate that movie. And look
I don't
at the
want
budget.
her touching anything.
No, anything. She had so much money for that movie.
And it looked bad.
Terrible. It looked awful.
Bad.
Yeah.
Half of Star Wars is like, well, at least it looks good.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. So
Patty, maybe you just swung and missed. I think Wonder Woman
the first one wasn't bad.
Not bad, but is overrated. Like people act like that movie is incredible.
Right.
I think it's good. I think that movie obviously falls apart in the third act, but this isn't a DC review. I think that's a pretty common thing. But Patty Jenkins has lost my
starting lineup vote.
Yeah, I don't even confidence. I was like, where I can't think of the word confidence. She's
lost
my confidence.
Sure.
But she's supposed to be doing this Rogue Squadron movie, and Kevin, today it got delayed, not a year, not a month, indefinitely. So it looks like Star Wars might think the same thing. And if it is the girl from Dark World, makes you wonder, man. Like, she got kicked off of that movie, and again, I could be just spewing BS. I should really find out. I might Google that real quick. But if it is the girl from Dark World, and then there's this as well, I'm fine with it because I wasn't asking for this movie.
No, yeah. A director being fired or leaving a project multiple times is not usually a good sign, especially early in a career. But we don't know the full story. So
no, not at all. But at the end of the day, Jenkins was replaced on Thor 2. It is her. So I can talk shit again. And we all know how bad that movie kind of turned out. And Star Wars cannot fumble anymore. They've lost the ability to, that they'll still make money, but they have lost confidence with the fan base. And they need to earn that back. And I think they know that. I don't know what the whole story is there, but it is delayed indefinitely. That's kind of our Star Wars talk. But Kevin, we are running late, and I got to talk Eternals. So
my God, we're almost at an hour. We haven't even touched the movie yet.
Let's get into it.
Sure.
So we're going to do a quick non-spoiler Eternals talk before we get into it, and then we will obviously put the spoilers in down below in our time frame there. So Kevin, go ahead. Non-spoilers. Should people see this movie?
People should see this movie over and over and over again. Especially if you're into the MCU. But even if you're not, if you're a casual, fan of, superhero movies, I guess just in general, you'll like the movie. You probably won't get a lot of the references that they're trying to make, or be able to contemplate what this movie is leading into. But it's a beautiful movie. It's a little 2.5 hours long. It's a little longer than the average Marvel movie, but it does, but it does provide a lot of context. All the characters are great, hilarious throughout, and it doesn't really have that second act lull that so many Marvel movies do. So I love this movie.
I'm going to add on to what you said. First of all, I think you should 100% go to see this movie. If you're a Marvel fan, you have to go see it.
It's required watching for Marvel fans for sure.
You do. It's big in the grand scheme of things. It's opened up a lot of doors. But based on what you said, I want to kind of tag team that. It's incredibly well paced for almost 2.5 hours. One of the best things I can say about this movie is I think the pacing is incredible. Is it always? It's not blow up, smash Marvel, which is a lot of what it's kind of a lot of what I think me and you expected. Maybe not everyone going to see it.
We called this movie. We called this movie for sure.
So Kevin, on top of that idea, I have this written down because I remember talking about it. And before this morning, I went back to one of our old episodes when it was getting bad reviews by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. Screw your tomatoes, by the way. Go see this. The audience score is at an 87%. People like this movie. The critics don't. The people who are spoiling Spiderman for you don't like this movie. Screw those people.
Screw those guys.
Screw those people. I went back and watched. We said 3 things we want this movie to be. And if it is, we're happy. 1, we wanted the character dynamics / interactions to be really good. We wanted to see these characters interact. We wanted them to be fun, witty, have some real shit and some good depth. And the fact that there's a lot of them, that can be tough to juggle all of them.
Yes.
What do we think? Check on that one?
Oh, out of the water. Blown out of the water.
One of my favorite things about the movie, and we'll get into it in spoilers specifically. Number 2, we wanted this movie to look good, Kevin. The movie looked good to you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and say a check on that one, correct?
100%. Especially the third act, let's say. Huge scale.
There's a set piece.
It looks awesome. Massive set piece.
There's a set piece.
Actually, it might be the biggest actual set piece in Marvel, by the way. So it looked phenomenal. Yes.
And I will say this. We'll get into it in spoilers. This movie did look incredible. Some of the visuals were breathtaking. There were a couple visuals I have complaints about, but overall, this movie looked awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll go into what those specific things were. I think if you really racked your brain, you'd probably figure out what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Number 3. So we're 2 for 2 in what we wanted.
2 for 2.
What we wanted in order for this to be a good movie and to screw the tomato website. Number 3 on that. We wanted this movie to expand Marvel lore. Did that do this, Kevin? We wanted this to open not only Marvel lore. I think your exact quote was widen like Marvel, like make it bigger.
Yeah.
Scale it up.
Scale up Marvel.
You saw this movie weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah.
You must have. Go back and watch those episodes.
Dude.
The last couple weeks, we talked Eternals a couple times. You'll see the 2 dudes.
We know what we're talking about.
This is our cinematic universe, baby.
Yeah.
We know.
We're talking in our language right now. Yeah, 100%. This movie is.
By the way, check, right? Check. Check for number 3.
Bullet.
Okay, so 3 for 3. This movie's freaking awesome.
Oh, so good.
Screw your tomato website. We will put it where we have it in our rankings in a bit.
Yeah.
With that being said, Kev, should we just go into spoilers?
I'm excited to talk spoilers. If you're excited to talk spoilers, go see the movie. Please go see the movie. Please go see the. Give this people.
I want to see it again
money.
really bad. Honestly, it's all I've been thinking about the last couple of days. This and Spiderman has taken over my life. So, all right, we're gonna move right into spoilers, folks.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, hit the road. If you don't plan on seeing this movie, like us just hearing us talk about movies, you can stay. But I think you should go see the movie. But if not, stay. Or come back once you have seen the movie. We'll put it in the time thing below. So I wanted to just kind of expand on the character dynamic interaction checklist there. We kind of went through our checklist.
Sure.
The specific, every single one of the characters had a relationship. And what is there, 10 of them?
I think 8, but yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10.
Oh, shit. Wow, there is.
If you include if you include the main lady, yes. or Ajax. Sorry, we could say names now. We're in spoilers. If you include Ajax, like the leader, there are 10 of them.
Okay.
I wanted every one of them to feel like they had their own relationship because it's like, how are we going to get this person to talk to this person? And they did, and it never felt forced. And that's part of the pacing of this. They all had a relationship with each other, and we almost got to see everyone interact, I think. And
just about.
Like if I named two random characters, you could be like, oh yeah, this is like he likes him or he doesn't like her because of this. They have this background. They did this.
My character name, which is so difficult in a drop-in that we haven't heard any of these character names.
It's hard to do in a team-up movie with like 4 or 5 people. It's hard to do in Guardians. Like,
I cannot tell you how many times better this is than Justice League. And Justice League had 6 movies beforehand.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Just incredible. Every interaction between these characters is thorough. And it, the whole point of these characters is that they've been around for so long. And the way that these characters interact shows that they have a history, and it is fucking beautiful. Every scene.
And I just want to say also, we're diving into characters right now, so let's just kind of do that. The characters, like the tension that they felt, first of all, for being as old as they are, obviously their mission is not what they think it is, but for most of the movie being their mission, what it is, their stresses, and I want to specifically talk about let me find him right here. Druig.
Yeah.
I love the scene where Druig was like, they're killing, first of all, they really do a great job with the theme of humanity, right? They fall in love with humanity. That's really what this is. And obviously they're helping them out, this and that, we get to see the flashbacks. Druig's struggle that he goes through, the internal battle, like I can stop all the violence.
Yeah.
But
dude,
I can't. And it's a struggle they all go through. We see, Fastos do it, who's the engineer character, with like, can I just like build them? Like they're dying of like water. Like, can I just build them a filtration system or whatever he does in the beginning of the movie? It's like, nope, that's too advanced. Like they need to die. They need to whatever. And they do it for the most part because they know, all right, it's the only way humanity advances. But the pain of having to watch all that and knowing you can and do that. And Druig just like, first of all, the acting is incredible. Druig's whole scene where he's like, makes them all stop and like leaves was like, do you understand what it's like to being able to stop this violence for thousands of years? Not like one time, not like something that like Superman deals with, being alive for a couple or 100 years or whatever. Thousands of years, generations of generation, falling in love with a new group of people, watching them disappoint you and kill each other and knowing you can stop it. I loved that conflict. I felt that conflict. Yeah. And they all have a similar something like that. I'm ready to go ahead.
That it's not long. It's like 30 seconds, but that scene of just like the Aztec genocide is brutal.
And then watching it all stop, like how loud and chaotic it is to just nothing. And Druid's like, I can do that.
I can't fucking not do anything anymore. And he just storms out. So fucking cool.
They're not mindless superheroes. We're like, good versus evil.
Yes.
This is the most heavy like conflict. And I'm talking real conflict because to this day, I don't know what is quite right. It feels so real life, when you have real life dilemmas and there are gray areas. It is not cookie cutter Marvel. Introduce our characters, fun scene, action sequence. Okay, now a 5-minute scene introducing bad guy. Oh, he just killed somebody. Really, really bad guy.
He just yelled at someone.
Back. Yeah. No, like guy's an asshole. Guy's a Nazi.
He kicked a puppy or whatever.
Guy's trying to kill a planet. Like guy is a planet trying to take over the galaxy. Like bad guys.
Yeah.
There is not a specific bad guy that isn't 100% like justified in their thinking. And even though you're not on their side, like some of the best motivations, obviously the big turn is Icarus. Did not see that coming, by the way. Well done with Icarus.
Yeah.
Well done. I honestly didn't see it coming until right before it happened to where they give you like your first clue. And I'm like, oh no, he knows.
He definitely
he knows. Like it hit me. There was a moment, I can't remember, about 5 minutes before the whole Ajax scene where I think she's explaining it to him and you're just looking at his face like, oh, you're explaining it. He knows. This is not shocking to him. He knows.
For sure. Beginning of the movie, I thought it was going to be Angelina Jolie that was going to end up being the bad guy. But obviously she goes crazy, and so she's immediately dismissed from
they do such a good job of like,
but
look over here. Angelina Jolie's going crazy, right? She's gonna be the one that turns on him. She kind of does in a couple scenes, even though it's not her fault.
not her fault. Yeah.
Druig goes off. Druig's the asshole. Druig's gonna be the one who turns on him. Whatever. It's very much bait and switch. Look over here. Nope.
Yeah.
Not only is it the most powerful, it's like the leader. It's like the Superman character.
Which I did not like that line, by the way. That's the only one big thing I did not like about this movie.
Why are they making DC references?
Yeah, whatever.
And weird in general.
Favorite part of the movie by far, but it's fine. I forgive you. But yeah, phenomenal change of event. I did not see not only Icarus being the traitor, but then Icarus dying at the very end of this movie. Rob Stark's a huge actor for them. Whatever his name is, is it
Richard Madden?
Richard Madden, that's what it is. Yeah, phenomenal actor. Obviously, we've seen him in Game of Thrones and Bodyguard and stuff. And
he is also in the in the Elton John Rocket Man. He's the boyfriend.
Haven't seen that. Oh, okay,
he's
gotcha.
like the boyfriend of Elton John for a while.
Gotcha. Yeah, a phenomenal actor. A-list. I don't know if he considers A-list.
No, definitely. Definitely not. To be honest,
very recognizable. But
perfect for Marvel, right? It's like done stuff. Very good. He's coming into Marvel and is like, oh, he's a superhero. Oh, he is going to be the next Chris Hemsworth. Wasn't a huge deal before Marvel. Now, like, is Chris Hemsworth. I thought that's what we were getting.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that if he's on camera, every scene that he's in feels like it was on the first take. Every scene.
Not to mention, comfortable in my manhood here. Just a incredibly good looking man.
Sure, that helps.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could see like the Evans Hemsworth draw to him towards like, oh God, he looks like a superhero. Like, if he
doesn't have to wear wool coats like he did in Game of Thrones.
Right. If he got casted as Superman, like that wouldn't shock me because obviously, like he's the Superman archetype here, right? Like similar, overpowered, can fly, shoot the whatever. But like he looks like, like good old fashioned, like just good guy, right? Just looks good guy, which adds to the turn being as impactful as it is. Continuing on though, just with the character, obviously, okay, so we have the themes of like humanity, right? The choice of do we tempt with fate? Not really fate. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. The idea that do we save millions now or kill them for the chance at billions later? And the idea that should we stay with the status quo? Is it right? Or by messing this up, are we messing up like the way the universe works?
Yeah.
And that's a real concern. I'm seriously sitting there and I'm like, I don't know if Icarus is wrong.
No. We're touching on my theory, by the way.
It feels personal, by the way, because we're talking about Earth, right? Us.
Right.
If this was an alien planet, I don't think we wouldn't leave the theater thinking Icarus is the good guy, to be honest.
Sure. No, yeah.
We are messing with the way the universe has always worked.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the thought process there to save. It almost feels selfish, which is such, like I said, to this moment, I'm not quite sure where I land on it. It's such a powerful conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this is bordering on my theory talk, so I don't want to get too specific unless we're diving into it.
No, because I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so we'll come back to it. We'll come back to the implications of this whole dynamic. In general, I just wanted to talk about also like the deviants are kind of the bad guys. Icarus, I think, ends up being the main big bad, but like I said in the beginning, henchmen are the big bad. Henchmen are the big bad.
Henchmen are the big bad. We haven't even talked about the freaking Celestials.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Maybe the
scale of these guys
in Marvel is when she first goes there because we've seen that in the trailer, like him zoomed back. The like whole watching that in a movie, go see it in a theater too, because like it is so much better in a theater. Yeah. The scale of I believe his name is the Judge or something. I can't think of his full name, but it's something the Judge or something.
Arishin
the Judge, which is oh my god, what a badass name.
That's so
cool. You just see his zoomed in face and you see the scale of how tiny they are to him.
Not just how tiny they are, how tiny Earth is.
Earth is.
You can just like pop Earth like that.
when you get it at the end, and the entire world, by the way, saw what's his name? Arishin, the judge. Those things are badass. Thoughts on them?
Fucking cool. Obviously, we've had
Deep
sordid dealings with this before in Marvel, at least mentions.
Guardians,
Guardians. The head that they go to, that they transverse into.
Ego is technically one, right?
Ego is technically a celestial, although he's more organic as opposed to scale wide, grand plan kind of guy. But yeah, other than that,
we saw the dude with the staff.
Yeah, all in flashbacks and stuff in regards to
and I think they're all different sides, to be honest, because they even show a couple of the other ones, and they don't look
that
as
are on
big
Earth
as the judge. The judge, what a badass thing, by the way.
Exactly. So very cool, cool. I love these.
What he's asking them to do, and I love the finding out all about. That's where I say like it's paced so well, because right when we're sitting there, we're like, all right, we need a little something. We find out that Icarus makes the turn, right? Or we go have that incredible action sequence in the woods. We also haven't talked, and before I want to keep going into because I love the deep shit. I really do. That's why I love this movie. I think it is one of the deepest, if not the deepest, Marvel movies.
I'm okay with saying it. Yeah, I'm okay with saying it. I feel like it is.
I absolutely love the themes and the conflicts in this movie. But I want to hit on some of the, some of the more lighter aspects of it, the not as heavy aspects. The comedy, especially Kingo.
Danish, yeah.
Kumail, I think is his name. Kingo is the character's name. I'm saying the actor is Kumail, I think.
Habib or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to do that because I don't know the pronunciation. Yeah, but Kingo and his driver. I did not expect this to be funny. I expected a few Marvel jokes because it's Marvel. This movie was hilarious. I laughed a lot. I thought the comedy hit was in appropriate times because Marvel can kind of shoehorn it in.
Sure. Yep.
And I didn't ever feel like it was shoehorned. I thought it hit very well, was at appropriate times, kept the movie going. It almost was like the bridge between important scenes was the comedy. And I thought Kingo did an incredible job with that specifically.
Yeah. Several times in this movie, they end the scene with a joke from like a floating third party or whatever. I will say this has some of the not last, but just least frequent jokes in MCU.
I'm fine with that.
But I think it has one of the highest batting averages for successful jokes.
Yep.
They don't joke often, but every joke that they nearly every joke in this is you will laugh at.
Kingo being the Bollywood star and being
for 100 years.
Yeah, the dynasty Bollywood is hilarious.
No, that was my great grandfather.
His driver, when they first introduced him, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like this guy. This feels, but he ends up almost being like not only hilarious, but like kind of like the voice of humanity, of like the humans in this, and him saying thank you at the end. I didn't expect that to hit like it did.
No, yeah,
it totally did, great. Man. It totally did. He was hilarious. One of my favorite Kingo lines is he's obsessed with his movies. And Druid and him arguing about whatever. And he's like, Druid says something like, oh, you make all these movies now or something. You think you're a big deal. He goes, I've done some directing too. Like, it's just such like a stuck up actor thing to do. Like, I want to talk about my directing. He's like, oh yeah. How many people have seen your directorial stuff or whatever? He's like, it's not about the views for me, Druid. And they're arguing and there's like this passionate thing. They all leave and they're just sitting there. And Kingo is all of us when like, the one guy that they like kind of don't like, but is in the group, and he leaves, and he's just like, Druid's a dick. Like he just like says it out loud. He's like he's sitting there in his mind, and he's like, he hasn't liked him for a while, and then he had that big argument. We've all had that in like a group atmosphere, right? Where it's like, I don't really like this guy, and then one thing kind of sets you off, and then he leaves, and you're like, that guy's an asshole. Like screw that guy. Like I
for sure, that's happened before.
That so much.
I think Kingo, my favorite was
one of the MVPs.
When Cersei and I think it's Druid are first interacting, he's just like, "Are you guys like doing this?" Right. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it. Yep. Oh, it's so good. It's like watching like your little sister get together with like your best friend. Like, what's happening here? Like, this is weird. I hate. Like, I love that he's like, you think he's gonna like kind of be like, this is happening, weird kind of thing. I love this. He says it for a second, looks it up and down. I hate it. I hate it. And by the way, I love their relationship. By the way, all the relationships are good, but I really bought the Druig and
Cersei.
No, it's not Cersei. Druig and why can't I find her on my IMDb? What the heck?
Dina?
No, she's the fast. Oh, Makari.
Oh.
Sorry, gosh.
So they don't ever say her name. I had to look it up too.
They do say her name a few times. Yeah.
I do.
I'm just saying, I have the list here and I literally couldn't find it. And I was trying with all my heart to avoid just saying the deaf girl because that didn't feel right.
Oh, yeah.
So Makari, who, by the way, the sign language stuff I thought was actually really cool. And I actually saw a stat that like wanting to learn sign language like increased by like 200% after this movie. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Did they do it right, JD? You took sign language.
I did. I don't know sign language, but I know some sign language. I know some sign language.
Go Bucks, baby!
Hey, I will say I was actually I actually really did want to learn sign language.
Sure.
When we were in person, one of my 3 classes was in person. I was actually learning it and enjoyed it. The other 2 were online, and that was when it was like, screw that. It's so hard to learn sign language online. Sure. Not in a classroom setting, not being able to like engulf yourself in it. So I did go in with actual real expectations.
Well, but that's the first step. All right.
I actually wouldn't mind too, because I think it would be a cool thing to know. But either way, I love that relationship. Totally bought it. Yeah. We also didn't talk about Kit Harington.
Barely in the movie.
Yes, but I loved him in the movie. I actually really thought he was good. A genuinely good guy.
Yep.
And I love that we're in a world now where he's like, so you're a wizard. Like, that's what she immediately thought.
Right.
Similar to Falcon and Winter Soldier when they're talking about everyone's the big 3 or whatever, android, alien, or wizard or something. So like that didn't freak him out. And then come to find out he's got some heritage stuff there. And we'll talk about that in post-credits in a second. But
sure.
I thought Kit Harington was good. Let's talk about the action. Holy shit. I was not expecting to be blown away by a Zoe Chow or Chloe Zhao. Wow, just completely messed up. Chloe Zhao movie action wise, I just thought maybe this is where it would lack. It absolutely did not. Makari, we've seen speed and I'm saying better than X-Men speed. We have seen speed in the best way possible. X-Men speed is cool, but the whole slowing it down thing, this is the first time we've seen someone move fast and it be dope.
Yeah.
And it is dope.
It is dope. It is very, very dope. She uses speed like well. It's not just like they're doing it just to do it. Like in
the choreography was incredible for a speed.
Yeah. She's like saving people from like burning buildings, and she's going up and punching, and she's doing all the cool things with speed that you can do. Really well worked, especially for a character that, again, we don't really see all that much, especially in the present time until the 3rd act.
She's
so
one of
well
the
done
she's
on her.
Literally the last one they go to find.
Yeah.
She's still in the ship, the giant Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm. Which is fun. I like the way that they're describing technologies that have come out since the last time that they saw her. Do you know what a Kindle is? Yeah. Well, there's no point in explaining it unless you have an iPad.
Right. Oh, it's so good. It's like, well, if you don't know what an iPad is, you're definitely not going to know what a Kindle is.
Yeah.
Very funny. Actually, kind of similar to, it reminds me of the Kingsman movie where they go to like an old safe house and the newest technology of the day are like iPads and stuff, which is like, now that these are like in normal present day works or whatever, these are considered old to the Kingsman. A little side note there, but it kind of reminded me of that. It was kind of funny. But that action sequence there at the end specifically, I loved, and it might be overused. It might be an archetype, but I like the Superman archetype where there's a shit ton of people trying to fight Superman because he's overpowered. And that is obviously Icarus in this. And the way they fight him, the way they kind of each go at him, Fastos as an engineer and the shit he comes up with is so dope, as well as Makari coming up with obviously the speed and is kind of kicking his ass. Like they kind of each take turns kicking their ass, but at the end of the day, Icarus is the strongest. He kind of figures it out. But just in general, that entire fight sequence I thought was incredible.
I think they watched Invincible beforehand, but yes, it
did look like Invincible.
Yeah,
but here's the thing, Kevin. Yeah. We're finally getting these cartoon sequences that are like, oh, it's dope, but it's a cartoon. We're making them look good in real life. What a time to be alive. Yeah. These fight sequences are incredible. In general, though, I think this is a good way to segue into the 3rd act, right? So A lot of shit's going on, right? Okay. Obviously, Icarus makes the turn. He killed Ajax. What a twist. Cool twist. I also like Ajax dying when she did. Cool. Like, again, with the pacing.
Gibraltar.
With the pacing. The one thing I didn't love about this movie were the deviants. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that. Obviously, I'm fine with like that they're not the big bad. I actually think it's cool that like they're kind of like the distraction from the big bad. I don't mind where they come from, but when I said the visual thing, I don't think they looked great. Number one, and I thought they were just kind of there as something to fight. They definitely felt like we need the Eternals to fight something, and whenever we needed a fight sequence, they were just kind of there.
Yeah, no, they were cannon fodder for sure. And a lot of this movie's fight scenes are just against a CG, dog,
which we normally hate.
But the way that the Alpha or whatever was able to, adapt, evolve, that kind of thing was interesting.
The Apex Predator thing added to it 100% was cool.
Yes. The only thing with Deviants that I do want to get on your side about was the way that it ended wasn't so strong.
Bingo.
But like you also
hinted at, with the Deviant was borderline stupid. The entire time I'm like, this feels so small.
Sure.
We have Icarus going on over there. Feels like we got to wrap this up. So let's give Athena a revenge story.
They had that whole debate as to what's life worth and that kind of thing. And they ended up just killing him anyway at the very end. But like you said, this was a secondary thing, and they had to get to fighting the Celestial sooner rather than later. So
I don't think you're supposed to love it though, almost though. So I don't mind it. I do think though, in general, I would have liked that kind of B plot. I felt like we have Angelina Jolie. We need Athena to do something. So her thing is going to be this revenge mission, which for Gilgamesh, which I didn't expect to love Gilgamesh, but he was dope.
It was great.
He was a really good actor. I really liked him as almost like the big brother character to Athena.
Yep.
I felt like Athena was the Eternal that they were forcing the most. The storyline, the plot, it wasn't bad. It just felt like we have Angelina Jolie, so we need kind of something. And the whole keeping your memories, and this is where the movie can start to get a little
trippy.
All right, we're just like creating problems.
Oh.
Trippy might be fine.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's delicate here. It's hard to exactly put your finger on it, because I have the same feeling of at the end of the movie when they're like, well, if we can all get the mind power. I hate when movies do this when they're like, here's the solution. It's something that we just came up with right now that we're explaining to. We're just explaining it to you.
Yeah, ex machina.
And this is this is the solution. This third act struggles with that a little bit with the Unimind and all that. That being said, it came together for a sweet fight sequence, and I love her turning the entire thing into marble. It was one of those that ends justified the means for me, 100%.
Sure. Yeah,
but
sure.
To be fair, I do think it was a little bit of like, we need to like finish this movie. Here's some random shit on how we can get out of this. That wasn't explained. And maybe the Unimind and the fact that I liked how they've survived old planets, because they've obviously done a ton, was by using the power of the Celestial, right? To stay alive.
Yeah.
So the fact that they used the power and the Unimind to kill him, that's why she was so powerful and able to do it. That's why they were so... I like that idea. I just wish we would have gotten a little bit of like breadcrumbs to that in the beginning of the movie that I don't think we got at all. And it felt a little forced.
Yeah. No.
That's probably my biggest complaint.
Yeah. All I can say to that is it's fucking hard to kill a Celestial. So yeah, you get what you get for an explanation, and we get to the end of the movie, and that's all that matters.
And the end of the movie is so good that I genuinely don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Kevin, we in an MCU movie. Let me get my sexy voice.
Oh,
got thrusting.
Yeah, we did a whole hip thrust.
Oh yeah.
Was there a moan in there too? There might have been a moan.
My man Icarus and Cersei were heavily implied.
Not virgin
sex.
Yeah. Good for them.
Not premarital though. I mean, they got married, so all good.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got married in India.
That's the first time, correct, that we have gotten like, oh, both those characters are naked. Like, we've had implied sex, obviously, quite a bit, but like that was probably the most graphic, I guess.
Oh yeah, and not close. Yeah.
It added to the and I shouldn't say like added like, oh, this was a great scene and we needed it. We maybe did it, but it added to like the tone of like this being a more serious grown up comic book movie with real life themes, and
Yep.
we're gonna be grown ups about this one, guys. As much as I love Shang-Chi, we're not gonna have like ancient dragons fighting, whatever. And I love that movie for what
it is.
Yeah, that's what it needed to be. 100%. It was incredibly awesome. This was like, hey, put your grown-up pants on a little bit. There's a grown-up movie to an extent. It's still a comic book movie where it's kiddish at times, but I thought that kind of just added to that, I guess. Honestly, that's not like a real scene we're talking about. I just thought it was funny.
No, yeah,
I had to, throw it out there for Marvel. They're getting a little
very
more,
good, right direction for Marvel, especially throwing back to earlier in the podcast, we talked about how Tom Holland said that his movie is going to be dark and much more adult than what we've seen in the past. Maybe this is not prerequisite,
and we're getting pretty
word, but
out
it's a good
there.
step.
We're getting pretty
also
out there,
true,
right?
Yes.
So these movies are becoming where they started with more like kids like them and families like them and comic book nerds like them. Now it's like grown up movie going public likes these movies. We don't need to sell them to kids as much as we used to, because we're still going to make a shit ton of movie, more even if they're really, really good. Ask the Christopher Nolan Batmans, they can be incredibly grown up comic book movies.
Sure.
We've gotten over that stigma. They don't need to be made for kids.
No, they're turning into
some of
film.
them can.
Yeah.
And some of them probably should be still 100%. I want kids to go see Captain America and shit like we did when we were younger. That's fun.
Definitely. That's how we grew up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but
but
interesting to see a change in direction from
throw an Eternals at us for every one of those two.
Definitely.
So do we want to go theories? Is there anything else specifically you really want to talk about? My list of just kind of things.
I want to talk theories. I really want to talk theories so bad.
Oh, should we talk post credit first? Which might
at least explain it. There's not really much to talk about because we don't have much information. But yeah, explain the two.
You and me got a whole lot of history. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. What's the most important, like, One Direction? That doesn't feel like it's it.
That's not true. You don't know you're beautiful.
Harry Styles is in the MCU, folks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ladies. Have your moment. Honestly, Harry Styles was good in Dunkirk. I don't like this. Didn't do anything for me, but I get like in pop culture why it did.
Yeah, same.
I actually don't hate like the One Direction's last album is actually pretty good. It's not overly boy band. The one with History or something like that, for what it's worth.
Okay.
But yeah, closet One Direction guy over here, Kevin.
Good
but it's big for pop culture. He was fine in Dunkirk. I'm not like upset.
He was good in Dunkirk. Yeah,
he was actually good in Dunkirk. You're right. Fine's probably not the right. He was good in Dunkirk. He's transitioned to acting. He seems to be taking it seriously. I don't think they're bringing him in to just be teen heartthrob. But Marvel's not stupid. If it brings in the girls who fell in love at 16 to One Direction and are now 22 and want to go with their boyfriends, that doesn't hurt either. Marvel's not dumb. But Harry Styles is in the MCU. As a pop culture thing, we just got to throw that out there. But his character specifically is introduced as Thanos' brother. That's the post-credit scene we get. Obviously, this movie ends with, we didn't even say, obviously, well, you've seen it if you're listening, but Icarus flies into the sun, which I also think it's cool that all their names are like from history. And then when they kind of explain it as like, jokes, almost.
Yeah.
It's like why they did that. And I think it's really, really, and I know we just got into post-credit scene. I think to cover it, because it was the end of the movie, we kind of blew past it. The Icarus going into the sun, people are kind of hating on him, like, well, you just committed suicide. I think it's incredibly deep because he loves Cersei that much, but he knows there's no going back from what he did, and his duty is to the Celestials. He still honestly believes that in his heart of hearts. Yeah. So the only way to not challenge or hurt Cersei is to kill himself. And I thought it was a pretty
and nothing on earth could probably kill him.
And I thought that was an incredibly badass way to do it. And I've heard people complain about it. I thought it was relatively deep and cool.
Yeah, sure.
But back to that. Sorry. I felt like we needed to address that and we just kind of didn't. So I'm sorry. I know I'm all over the place. My ADD ass. But okay, so Thanos' brother's in the MCU. Do you know anything
Thanos'
about
brother? We talked about it a little bit.
Do you know anything
just you and
about
I
this guy?
before no.
Starfox?
All that.
Right?
Is it Star Fox? That's the video game character, right? Yeah.
Or no,
whatever.
it says as Eros.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Eros. He's introduced as brother of Thanos and then Prince of Titan. And we know that's weird because everyone on Titan's supposed to be dead.
Hey, isn't Titan a shithole?
Yeah, no, exactly. And so he had to have been off planet during the genocide. Not genocide. Titan just died out, kind of, right?
He just explained it as like why he did it is like too many mouths, not enough people. I offered a solution, and in years it just kind of crumbled to the point where I'm sure.
Yeah. So where's he been this whole time?
But
so
he could have been on planet for it, and he was just
got out, or
he's a
survived,
prince. So
or...
it was like when it really was starting to go to hell, it was like, all right, get in our spaceship. I'm sure we can afford it. We're probably one of the few people that were eating on Titan.
True. Yeah. So something to talk about, I guess, for directions going forward. But
also the worst CG in any Marvel movie maybe ever was Pip Patrol.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. Yep.
Which is fun.
We talked about this at the beginning of the podcast.
Charlie Day, by the way, that is the guy. That was the role I thought Charlie Day would be really fun as. His voice would have been hilarious. But yeah, Pip the Troll. Terrible CG, whatever. They'll fix that. Like, it's Marvel.
45 seconds in those last 2 minutes of the show.
Chloe Zhao was like, I'm spending every one of my dollars in the right spots. And by the way, you get a lot of these big blockbusters with big budgets. Chloe Zhao spent all her money in the right places. This movie looks big budget and spent on the right things. Just a side note. And she's like, screw your post credit. People are gonna love it because it's Harry Styles. I don't care if I'm not spending it. I'm spending $20. You get $20 for the troll. Go give it to some kid learning like
software programming or whatever. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
The next one.
The next one is the Black Knight, Kit Harington. I don't know a lot about that character. I know he's not quite like. I know he's with the Eternals, but he's not an Eternal. So obviously we got that right off the bat. And I'm like, I know he's the Black Knight, but
do you know the voice that talks to him?
Yes, I do. So first of all, he grabs the sword. It's obviously some family heirloom, but he needs to find Cersei. He loves Cersei. Also incredibly weird watching Jon Snow and Robb Stark fight over Cersei. It was hard to get over, but kind of a funny thing they did there. Also, the Game of Thrones guy did the music. A lot of Game of Thrones connections. Funny enough.
As long as it's not the writers.
As long as it's not the writers. Yeah, those guys said, nope, you don't get Star Wars anymore. But either way, he's got some kind of family heirloom sword that's going to give him some kind of powers that he obviously does not want to do, but feels like he needs to get Cersei. And he tries to talk about his past a little bit before the Judger came and grabbed them and basically said, we're going to look at your memories and judge the shit out of you. And we're screwed, Earth. Because the Judger, he saw what you did. You know what you did. He saw it. And we're probably going to die as humanity because he's seen your search history. He knows. But the voice. So there's a voice. There's a voice. And it is confirmed that voice is the actor who's playing Blade. You know his name, correct?
I do not know his name. I know it was
something Ali.
Muhammad.
Muhammad Ali is playing Blade, the vampire killer.
He's just wheeling around in a wheelchair. Oh, that's mean.
It's not Wesley Snipes, by the way, guys. Mahershala Ali. Sorry, that's who it is. But it was. I didn't know that in the moment. Did you?
No. I looked up afterward.
And Chloe Zhao is confirmed, by the way. This isn't like fan theory or even like spoiler or anything. When he said it, I kind of thought. I'm not gonna lie. I did have the thought. I'm like, that could be Blade because I know they're doing it. And then I guess I don't know. Is this bad to say? It did sound like a intense black man.
No,
I don't know if that's like a bad thing to say.
It wasn't. It wasn't Nick Fury.
And it wasn't Nick Fury, correct. So it was a new character, and knowing Blade, knowing who was cast, it sounded, I've never seen Mahershala Ali before, but I'm like, oh, that could be. But, I didn't really think much of it. And one comic book nerd in our crowd, because we saw it first showing in Toledo, by the way, like opening night, 6 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
Some comic book nerd stood up and goes, Blade! I'm like, oh,
cool.
Probably Blade. That guy seems to
he seems confident.
Yeah. Like that guy came in like the sweatpants and like the stained Marvel shirt. Like that guy knows it's Blade. He went, Blade.
At LED lights for the last 75.
He looked around at everyone like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Blade.
Yes.
He actually said it like that. It was actually really weird. So Blade, which I'm excited about. Incredibly excited about.
They're both going to be featured in a TV show for Marvel here coming up, right?
He's got movies.
I thought that his debut was on screen was going to be on a TV show.
Very possible. No? Very possible. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I just know he has movies. Like he's not getting. Oh, Moon Knight.
Yes,
Moon Knight. Sorry. Yes, I think his people
Moon Knight. That's right.
Moon Knight. Yeah, which would be very good. But those are the post-credit scenes. Very cool. Let's get into theories though, because we're running quite a late here. So I want to hear your theory, buddy.
All right. So I did not create this. I can't take dibs. But theory number one.
I did. I'll take dibs.
That I'm hopping on the bandwagon for. After the result of Eternals, the Earth population.
Oh, I know where you're going. By the way,
continues to increase. Yeah. And at that point where a certain line of finite expansion of the human population goes, greater entities in the cosmic universe are awakened. And in this specific instance, I believe that cosmic entity is going to be Galactus. I think he's going to be bigger than any of the not the Eternals, but any of the Celestials that we've seen up to this point. We have known obviously that he is cannibalistic and he destroyer of worlds, I think is his full title. And I think
dope name.
Very cool last abbreviation there. But like I said, a finite limit for the sustainability of the human population. And once it is past that line, then we are going to get Galactus being interested in consuming the planet. We're probably going to see, if my theory is correct, we're going to see what am I talking? Silver Surfer. God, I couldn't think of the name. Yep. Silver Surfer here within the next calendar year.
Silver Surfer's going to do what the Eternals couldn't. I've heard that option as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's not, he has a speaking part or something, just keep an eye out in the skies, guys, just to see if you see a streak in the sky or something. Could be Silver Surfer just, scouting around and seeing if the planet's legit or not. Just, from my point of view, that seems like the direction that they're going. But obviously, there's a lot of things that need to happen beforehand. So I could very well be wrong, but that's where I'm headed.
Look at that guy. Oh, whoops, I messed it up. I wanted to show him. He looked cool. I wanted to find Galactus. Look at that guy.
So good.
Those are planets.
Those are planets that are just palming. Yeah, destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. I really like that. I think it's so cool that we're getting the judge. What's his name? Sorry, I keep messing it up. Either way, the judge. Arishin. Yep. Arishin, the judge, is like legit, like y'all effed up. And I hope these people are worth it. We're gonna go find them. But what's cool is we have now opened up the Marvel Cinematic Universe to these Celestials. Is like our kind of, at least if they're not the big bad, they're setting up the big bad, like with the Galactus or something like that. And the scale has gone up to such a level that was it me and you who talked about this? We might even talk about it on the show that all the like Earth problems seem to be going to TV. Hawkeye,
Falcon
Winter Soldier, and even the Black Widow character seems to be for TV. The Elaine character from
from
like
Seinfeld.
What the stuff she like, I feel like she's building a little mini TV thing going on, a little TV saga. Because the movies are going to be reserved for fighting Celestials now. And what the hell are Hawkeye and I'm going to be doing? That or solving multiverse issues like Doctor Strange and Loki.
Bigger
we have two big old things wide open now. Can of worms wide open with both the multiverse and we have obviously the Celestials now too. I think it's going to be a minute till we get back to the Celestials. Obviously, next movies are going to deal with multiverse.
That's why I added. Look, I think I'm pretty sure the way they're going to just
it makes sense. I've heard that
is just have Silver Surfer in the skylines somewhere. I'm just saying, just check the skies when you're watching these movies.
He's going to judge, and if he decides you're not good enough, that's probably when he's like, "All right, Galactus, this is what you do," and Silver Surfer comes. Because we got to be getting close to some kind of Fantastic Four stuff too.
It was in the promo. It's in Phase 4. We know it's in Phase 4. Yep. And we know nothing else. Not even a cast.
And we're like these theories are years away from even being realized or
Sure.
even like started. Like
Sure.
we're going to start to get Fantastic Four, and the first Fantastic Four movie. I doubt the enemy Silver Surfer, but I wouldn't doubt that the first Fantastic Fours will be get a post credit scene of a Silver Surfer, like everything's good, save the day. The Silver Surfer guy approaches and like, who the hell is that? And that's how it ends. And that
we'll probably get a Doctor Doom or something in the first episode or first movie.
A good Doctor Doom would be awesome. Yeah,
they can't kill him. Obviously, he's one of the biggest baddies in all of Marvel. So yeah, they'll probably
Fantastic
send him to prison or
Four
something.
Brings an entire different element. Obviously, so does X-Men, but X-Men is like big and easy to just kind of write off as like mutants and different bad guys and stuff like that. But Fantastic Four on the galactic big scale is going like as much as I love the X-Men's characters and stuff. That's opening a can of worms that is going to. I want it. Don't get me wrong, I want it, but I'm more excited for Fantastic Four.
For sure.
Because of the problem, X-Men, like once you start to introduce mutants, it becomes tough because it's an easy way to like write off like all the villains and things like that.
Well,
they'll do it all right, and I want it eventually. I'm enjoying the MCU where we stand now. And I would much rather see, if I could only have one, I would much rather have Fantastic Four.
Well, historically, X-Men has always been very political. It's always been like
and its own thing more. We're like Fantastic Four and Spiderman interact more. X-Men seems to be its own little, even though they're in the universe, its own little world.
It's always humans versus mutants or mutant elitists fighting the humans. Always one of those two is usually the bad guy in X-Men. So it's hard to put up like galactic scale for them. But like you said, it would always be fun. I'm always excited to see, Wolverine and those guys. And, that's probably how we're going to get Deadpool in the MCU and that kind of stuff. But I'm okay with waiting. Waiting.
So real quick, Kev, obviously we love Eternals. Do you have a ranking spot for it?
Number 10. I texted you this right after the movie, and I have
number 10 is
right in front of Iron Man, right below Civil War, if I remember right.
Okay, I should have gotten that list ready. Sorry, I kind of forgot.
Oh no, yeah, you're good.
But I am not just saying this because of you. I am also putting it at number 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which would move Spider-Man: Far From Home out of my top 10. I know. Tough. 11. And then that would put it right after Avengers for me.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
And I didn't want to do recency biased.
Sure.
And here's the thing: we're allowed we're allowed amendments too in this stuff.
We've seen the movie once, both of us.
We've seen the movie once. We're allowed amendments. Let me be a prisoner of the moment. Let's put it above Avengers. Give me 9. Give me 9. Give me 9 and Avengers 10. I think this is a better team up movie and character interactions, and I have to give it credit for being deep. And I know I give Avengers so much credit because of the characters and the interactions and things like that. And it's really good. It's a really good movie.
When it came out, nothing touched it. Nothing touched it. And this movie is coming out in 2021. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair to probably compare them right off. But I'm just gonna say right now, I have to reward it for, like I just raved. I have to reward it. Sure. Being you don't make the rules. It's a goddamn good movie.
It's a goddamn good movie, and I will not apologize for it being a goddamn good movie.
You, Rotten Tomatoes.
So we both love Eternals. That's where it stands. 9 for me, 10 for you. I love that you love it, by the way. I thought you'd love it.
Yeah.
Because you're a smart person. The people I went with loved it. Connor and Trevor, who were on a couple weeks ago for Dune, they both loved it. I liked it more than them right after. Connor really liked it. I was like, I kind of love it. I'm not ready to like throw it. I kind of love it. Connor really liked it. He wasn't. I was probably the highest of the 3. And Trevor's like, I really liked it, but I have some concerns. Connor had then texted me like the day later. He's like, I let it sink in. And he's like, that's a top 10 Marvel, and it dabbles with top 5. And I'm like, hell yeah, Connor.
Hell yeah, Connor.
Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah, it does. He's like, I sat on it, and it's like one of those movies that just continues to get better. And I think I'm going to love it more the second time, hopefully sometime this week. I got some job interviews and some big boy shit going on. So hopefully sometime this week, though, I'll get back to the theater to watch it. That was our Eternals review. We love Eternals. You love Eternals, Kevin?
Love Eternals.
Love Eternals. well, we're just gonna wrap up because this is already long as shit. Thank
Thanks
you guys
sticking
for
around, guys.
watching. Yeah. And you know what? If you just watch the Eternals shit, I wouldn't blame you. Obviously, we love when you watch the whole thing, but we want people to see the reviews, especially for these big dogs, because it's a lot of fun. I like to do that after I see a movie. Feels like you can have a conversation with someone when you're learning about it.
And we're for Marvel, we're not just talking about the movie. We're talking about what's going to happen after.
There's we just ran through a really good while here, but I don't know what is our next review going to be Spider-Man? Like, what do we have? It'll probably be Spider-Man, right? Unless something pops up, I can't really think of it off the top of my head. But
yeah, nothing for Marvel. After Succession ends, we know that the next show we're going to do is Hawkeye. But that's it in terms of comic book stuff.
Yeah, we'll do Hawkeye for sure. All right, whatever. We'll come up with fun. We'll come up with fun. Obviously, like there's so many movie series I want to rank, like we did Marvel. And we'll be able to do that too. Obviously, we're gonna do Spider-Man leading up to Spider-Man and things like that. Yep. So thank you guys so much. This has been the Two Dudes Cinematic Universe. These are the two dudes. You're the Cinematic Universe. 2DCU. Please like, subscribe, all that, guys. Seriously, it helps. If you're watching. If you're a friend, anything, man, it helps. Go ahead and smash that like, man.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the lamest thing I've ever done in my life. We're also available on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, all that. You can also subscribe to those and leave reviews and all that. Comment, be a part of it. Talk shit about our list. Tell us what you think of Eternals, all that. But hey, go see Eternals. Go see a movie. Have a great weekend. Have a great week.
We love you.
Love you. You flew too close to the sun.